They're here that distort the news. You don't know what law is. You don't know what justice is. Where's the news agencies of Nigeria? What are they? You don't know that God is a God of justice. You don't know that. That God in heaven is a God of justice. You don't know that. I agitate for Biafra. I agitate for Biafra by right to agitate. My right. They turned it from treasonable felony now to terrorism. I agitate for Biafra. I agitate.
There's a topic you've been very vocal about that I think more people around the world should pay attention to. There's obviously a war in Gaza, there's the war in Ukraine, a lot of heartbreak going on around the world. But what's happening in Nigeria has been happening for a long time, is beyond imagination. The only comparison I can make that to what's happening there is what's happening in Congo, which I've covered extensively. I interviewed President Kagame in Rwanda talking about the genocide there and then the decades of war in Congo. But yet the world seems to be turning a blind eye to what's happening in Nigeria. Can you just elaborate more on what you've seen and what brought your attention to the issue?
Well, Mario, that's a good way to put it, turning a blind eye to it. This has been going on for actually quite a while in Nigeria, and it's the persecution and the ethnic cleansing of Christians in the country of Nigeria by Islamic extremists. And there's really about three different groups here that are to blame. One would be Boko Haram. We all are generally kind of familiar with Boko Haram. You have IS, West Africa, more ISIS aligned. And then you have this tribal people, most of them involved in cattle herdsmen, called the Fulani. And they have, as of recent, been doing a lot of the killing. And there's been a lot of more focus on that, at least on my end and some folks here in Congress. But all three are to blame for this. And to me, the government of Nigeria is to blame for this as well. But if I could just highlight just some of the numbers here real quick. Since 2009, the estimates are in between 50,000 and as much as 100,000, it's been reported, have been murdered Christians in Nigeria. I mean, this is an astounding number that nobody is talking about.
Genocidal numbers.
Genocidal numbers. And in that same time period, we've had over 19,000 churches attacked or destroyed. And nobody seems to really care about this, but this is something, as a Christian myself, as a Catholic, this is something I care deeply about. My brothers and sisters in Christ are suffering and being martyred in this country of Nigeria, and I'm trying to raise the alarm here in the United States and say we have to do something. And just this year alone, 7,000 Christians have been martyred in Nigeria. That's 35 a day are being killed. And we had 54 of them were martyred on Palm Sunday. We had a priest kidnapped and murdered on Ash Wednesday. And nobody seems to care or talk about this at all, which is why, thank you for giving me this platform to be able to talk about this. But this is so alarming, so concerning. And I think there's a real question of what type of ownership does the government of Nigeria have, culpability in this? And to me, there has to be some type of collusion of some sort, particularly as it relates to the Fulani, who are not a terrorist organization, but are Muslim ethnic group that live in kind of that middle band of the country where we see a lot of these clashes happening. The government has been trying to stop Boko Haram, but part of that is also the security assistance programs that the United States has with Nigeria in the and the promise that they would try to prosecute conflict against Boko Haram and end their presence in that country. Now, they still exist. Just last month, there was an attack on a village by Boko Haram that killed nearly 100 people. Thousands fled. The Air Force of Nigeria did some airstrikes that killed about 30 members of Boko Haram, but this is not nearly enough. And now, just a couple weeks ago, there was an attack on Christians. 15 were murdered. They flagged this. This is in the Borno state, flagged this for the government, and the government reported it, and I'm not joking, as fake news. This was not a real threat, and then 15 more Christians lost their lives. So certainly the government of Nigeria is not doing enough. I think they're complicit in this, in their absence in that area and protecting these Christians.
Let's talk about who Boko Haram is, especially people that weren't, following politics back during the war on terror. They've been around for a while. I think it was in 2014, they had pulled a lot of land in Nigeria, and I think neighboring countries as well, if I remember correctly. And everyone was talking about Boko Haram, and then their leader got killed with clashes with Nigerian military. But they've committed a lot of atrocities over the years. They've lost most of their territories. From what I understand now, it's also under Barack Obama's presidency. And there's been a lot of that's when their peak was. I'm just going through now some of the notes I've got. But now they're living in like islands, Lake Chad Islands and Sambisa Forest hideouts. So first, why are they killing Christians? What is their end goal? And two is, how are they still around after all these years?
Well, I mean, and that's a good question. Look, we see this same type of persecution and killing of Christians in many Muslim majority or Muslim ruled countries. This is something that seems to be persistent throughout the Muslim world. Now, Boko Haram in particular, they're more Al-Qaeda affiliated, so they do have goals in terms of taking over at least part, if not in whole, the country of Nigeria and cleansing the Christians of that country. You might recall, and this was back about a decade ago now, where there was 276 schoolgirls kidnapped. And you might remember the Obama administration actually saying something about this. Just to be clear, 82 of those are still remain missing. And, we're talking a lot right now about the murders and the martyrs of the martyrdom of the Christians that are in that country. But there is systemic rape and kidnapping and enslavement of the Christian population as well. So it's not just singular and just the killing of them. I mean, they are being tortured and kidnapped and disappeared on a daily basis as well. So that's also part of this that is happening. And
have you looked into why, Congressman? Why is it that hate towards Christianity in Nigeria, and you mentioned some other countries as well? I know this is mainly the extremist Islamic factions that have that ideology, kind of similar to what we saw with ISIS a few years ago, to this day, really. But why do they have that hate to go there and kill fellow humans just because they have another religion?
Well, I think, as I mentioned, Boko Haram is more closely aligned with Al-Qaeda. IS West Africa is more ISIS affiliated.
I meant more from a mentality perspective.
Yes, from mentality.
Brutal extremist ideology.
Yes, and because Boko Haram being more Al-Qaeda affiliated, obviously they do have end political goals, which is control. And they want to establish a Muslim nation, and obviously dominated by Boko Haram and that type of Islamic radical ideology. And obviously Christians are not going to convert, and they are not going to submit to that. So that stands in the way of their ultimate goal. And this is why they're waging a jihad against the Christian populations of that country, because it is not in alignment. I mean, use their own word, it's haram, I guess, is That's why they're doing this, and we see this all over the place. You saw this in Iraq. It's happening in Syria right now.
Syria is very ugly. Yeah, Syria is very, very sad.
Very, very ugly.
The Druze, the Alawites, and the Christians are getting targeted in different regions. And what could sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, you go.
I was gonna say what so that's where it gets tricky. I speak to a lot of people that the focus right now is putting America first. The country's in debt, the country's overextended, it's had decades of war, cost trillions of dollars, and the last thing the US needs is more intervention. Then it comes at a great risk, a great cost. Yet we've also seen the US, and I've been very critical of US intervention around the world, especially after Iraq and Afghanistan. I think most people are. But I think most people,
myself included.
There we go. And I think but it's important not to be completely binary on these things. It's like you can't just, in my opinion, you can't just say intervention as a whole is negative. If there's Rwanda, as I said, I interviewed President Kagame. Rwanda is an example of when it was Bill Clinton's biggest regret when he did nothing when it came to the Rwandan massacre, the genocide that happened. That one was the most disgusting genocide in our generation. And now, after Yugoslavia, his mentality is like, no more foreign interference. And we saw that disgusting, horrific massacre, genocide in Rwanda. But what should the US do? What would you recommend? I know it's a tricky position because these are fellow humans, Christian, Muslim, even if it's Muslims, it's fellow humans getting massacred. But then the US is overextended.
Yeah, well, there are things that we can do, and that's one of the things I wrote Secretary Marco Rubio a letter, and one in my request in that letter is to designate Nigeria as a country of particular concern. So what does that do? Well, it pumps the brakes, and it does restrict, limit, or prohibit security assistance with Nigeria. And back in the Trump era of Trump 1, his first administration, he had designated them as a country of particular concern. And then, by some type of magic, just joking, of course, the killings actually started to slow down. They did. Now, the Biden administration removed that designation, the country of particular concern, and said, well, no, this is just kind of indiscriminate. It's not particularly targeting Christians. When we know that's all obviously very true, that they are targeting Christians. That's absolutely true. Are Muslims being killed as well? Yes, they are. And any loss of human life is an absolute tragedy and something that we need to do. But first of all, our relationship with Nigeria, we need to leverage those things. Right now, we need a carrot and stick approach. Right now, we're just using the carrots of security assistance. We need to bring the stick into this as well and say, look, all these things that you're getting, armaments, attack helicopters, air-to-ground munitions, all these things that you need to be able to prosecute this conflict against Boko Haram, IS West Africa, you're going to have to protect these populations if this relationship is going to continue. And that designation as a country of particular concern had gotten their attention in the first Trump administration, I think would go a long way to start to rectify this without having to necessarily put American boots on the ground as a good first step.
Yeah, I think Obama did send 3 troops to Nigeria about a decade ago when those abductions of those schoolgirls happened, around that period. And it was only about 200-300 soldiers. Just back to that point, though, we do see China expanding their presence in Africa. So that's where I think that it is the right thing to do to save human life. But there could be also an economic cost. So what if the Nigerian government kind of pivots way more towards China? There's options now. As the US becomes less and less of a hegemony, the world becomes more multipolar. A lot of countries, like we saw in Brazil, instead of caving to the US, they pivot further towards China. Does that concern you that it could happen with Nigeria?
Well, of course, that's always a concern. But look, the Nigerians, if they wanted to, or any of these African countries, or any country for that matter in the world, could buy weapon systems from China. They don't want to, because obviously the United States has the most advanced weapon systems on the face of the planet, and having that type of cooperation is quite a bit of a different relationship than you have with China, which is more of a parasitic relationship that you're going to end up in with that country. Now, obviously, we do worry about their growing influence in the region. We know they're there. We know they're expanding those things. But you even hear stories about whether it's buildings or infrastructure or other things that China has built that fall apart, right? It's not the same type of quality of a relationship. It's obviously extremely transactional. And the United States, I mean, once we've made our mind up to have a real partnership with a country, that's something that generally lasts for a while and goes beyond just security assistance. So I think countries do see the advantage in partnering with the United States versus China. I'm sure you can get some cheap, easy goods real quick from them, and maybe they can build a couple roads and all these other types of things. But at the end of the day, they are there to extract, whether that's resources, capital, whatever that might be, access to ports, whatever it is, and don't want to form some actual lasting type relationship. And so I think the Nigerians and others seem to realize that. I don't think the Chinese care one way or the other if there's Islamic extremists running around the country, as long as it doesn't hurt their financial purposes at the end of the day. So I think that is quite a bit different. We have more to offer in that regard. And I think Nigeria and other countries seem to understand that.
Should the US consider any military intervention in Nigeria if this continues?
I don't think we should take that off the table at all. I think you keep all options on the table if this doesn't end. So, but I think the first step is this designation as a country of particular concern. Now, by no means am I, Riley Moore, sitting here and saying, let's go invade Nigeria. That is not what I'm saying at all. But we can't allow this genocide to continue in Nigeria and just do nothing about it. So hopefully Nigeria gets the message. If we can get them designated as a country of particular concern and start to actually use the training and equipment that they've been provided to go and defeat Boko Haram, IS, and actually protect these Christian populations. Now, for the first time in a long time, though, just to be clear, Nigeria's president and vice president, the head of state, they are both Muslim. Generally, it had been divided government, but this is the first time that we have this. So there is a question of, is there some type of collusion going on here? That's unclear to me. I'd love to be proven wrong about that by the Nigerian government. So certainly we're going to watch that very carefully.
Yeah, I'm just checking if my facts are correct. From memory, Nigeria had a 50% Christian population. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Yeah, so a lot of people would make the assumption that it is a majority Muslim country. Last thing I want to ask you, Congressman, and that's something I thought a lot about when I was researching Africa a few months ago when I was covering Congo. And that's how, for some reason, the world looks at Africa different. When you have a genocide in the Middle East, when you have a genocide in Europe, when you have genocide in any of those countries, like we saw in Yugoslavia, like we're seeing in Gaza, whatever you want to call it, I'm saying, mass killings or ethnic cleansing, the world is up in arms, the world is protesting, riots, they break out. Yet in Africa, the same thing continues to happen. Congo's been happening for decades. Niger, African Republic, all these countries are struggling. Sudan is heartbreaking as well. Yet no one really talks about it. The news don't cover it because people are not interested in reading about it. You don't see people protesting what's happening in Nigeria right now. Well, first I applaud you for actually paying attention to this because it's not the trending. So I applaud you doing this. But why do you think as humans we look at Africa differently? I know it's a very tricky question, but it's one that's been going on for decades. And I think there is a leader of a European country, I think it's Belgium, who essentially said something along the lines, I can't remember who the leader was, but something along the lines like, hey, it's Africa, they always kill each other. That's like the mentality when people were talking about the Rwandan massacre. That perception is scary.
The perception is scary, and it's absolutely wrong because every human life has intrinsic value. Every human life has intrinsic value. And that's certainly not my view on this issue, but you pointed to a really great example. Obviously, I've been to Srebrenica. I've been there. I've seen the memorial and the mass grave of the 8,000 Muslims that were killed during that time period in Balkans, that war. It's a tragedy, a human tragedy, a genocide. It was terrible. And the United States, along with NATO and the rest of our NATO allies, decided to say, we're not going to allow this to happen. Now, that's in Europe. So why, to me, there's no more intrinsic value of a European life than an African life. And this is why I'm trying to raise the flag on this and say, this is wrong, we have to do something about this. And look, my hat goes off to President Trump, no doubt. Getting involved, you mentioned the DRC, right? I mean, he got involved and was able to broker a peace agreement with those two countries, Azerbaijan, Armenia. How often are people really thinking about that one as well in Nagorno-Karabakh? He was able to do that as well. And to me, President Trump, there's nothing more than he hates than war. He wants to keep us out of war, despite what people say out here. That is not who he is. I know him. I've met with him many times. That is what he is looking for. That's what he's looking for in Ukraine. And that is why I think this is an issue that he is going to hopefully care about, because he is a peacemaker at the end of the day. And that's what he wants to see is peace. And he's done that in Africa before.
Yeah,
He's
South
done it in
Africa as well
Asia.
recently. He pressed the president of South Africa in front of reporters. Remember that?
Oh, yeah. That's when he's like, how about this video here? You know,
Yeah, exactly. He does that. He does that. So I don't know what he'll do. Hopefully he'll do something in Nigeria. But all it takes is one post, and the Nigerian government will just start scrambling. Holy shit, we're under his radar. So hopefully that happens.
Oh, yeah. I mean, as soon as they get on the radar, I mean, you know, Trump makes one truth post, and then it's going to be like, oh, no. So hopefully we're able to get to that level here soon and raise some more awareness about this. But yeah, no, no one should be thinking about it like that's what they just do in Africa. No, that you know, a lot of the problems that they have in Africa, I think anybody who's reasonably thinking about this, a lot of them are due to a lot of these arbitrary lines that were drawn by European powers back in the day. I mean, that's how we got to some of this. So
just imagine the people drawing these lines on a map. I'm sure they had good intentions, maybe. So for people listening, like Africa, a lot of these countries didn't exist just a few decades ago. So what Europeans did after kind of leaving those countries is kind of draw those borders, the whole settler mentality. And those borders cost so many millions of lives in the last few decades and genocides.
yes,
It is insane. It is insane. But Congressman,
Truly.
Again, thank you so much for bringing attention to the matter. We appreciate it. And I appreciate you jumping on the show for the first time.
Well, thank you so much for having me. Really appreciate you allowing me to talk about this. And I'm going to be talking about this until we actually hopefully get a solution on it. So I'm gonna keep fighting.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. Hello, greetings, everybody. Good morning, Michael. Thank you so much. Good morning to you. Prince, I shared my link. Oh, you spammed my comment section. Where's the link? Where's the link? I have shared the link. I did not see you in the studio. Okay. So I'm going to keep the link up. But if no one comes in, I'm going to shut it down. So there's a lot happening, as you guys already know. I don't even know where to start from. I just decided to start with this because it's more crucial, and so many other things are crucial in Nigeria. It's almost like it's an emergency situation with Nigeria. You're trying to put out so many fires at the same time. I don't know if you guys saw a video of Nigerian pastor casually talking about the unaliving that is going on in Nigeria. I don't know if you guys saw that video. Let me see if I can find it for you guys. And I just shook my head, not because what the man is saying is wrong, but because I just feel, did it have to get to a point where Oyibo people will talk about the concerns that you should be more concerned about? Does it have to get to that point before you realize that, oh yes, I have to choke my mouth in this matter? That is yeah, this is it right here. Let's listen.
Genocide. There's a lot of distortion going on. People claiming that there is no genocide of Christians in the nation. Information with facts can never be thwarted. You see people buried in hundreds and you say there is no genocide. What a wicked set of people. Agreed, there are people killed in other places for other reasons, but this one is very clear, and gradually is eating down to the south, southwest, southeast,
And many so-called leaders, for their personal interests, are claiming it's not true. Selling out their faith, if they have it at all. Jesus said, when I come, will I find the faith? And we are standing here to say to Jesus, the faith will keep standing. Raise your voice in a few seconds. Father, strengthen the brethren. Strengthen the faith.
So there you go. So finally, this is the only, I mean, if you know any other pastor or geo or the likes, evangelist or whatever they're called, who has said anything about what's going on in Nigeria, please feel free to bring it on. Feel free, because I'm here for it, right? So somebody from outside had to talk about the concerns, the issues that are going on in your country before you felt the need to speak against it. Apart from Pastor Michael, that lady, Issa Buba, the Reverend Fathers on ground, those priests that have been, some of them have been unalive, some of them, are still speaking up. No other person in Nigeria is speaking up. Largely, the Christians on the south are very quiet. They don't say anything about what's going on. They don't talk about it. They still go to church. They had Hallelujah challenge recently. Nobody, not even the person that hosted the Hallelujah challenge. You have NSPPD, none of them are talking. So you want to tell me the kinds of following that these people have? If they put out, if they make a comment about it, do you know how viral it will go? But they are quiet. You should be concerned. You should be worried as a Christian. As a Christian from the South, you should really be worried that you have leaders in your church that don't speak about what is going on. It has to take someone from outside of you to speak about the evil that is going on in your country before your leaders. So what does that say? So what are you going to church for? What is inside? What is going on with you people's mind? It doesn't make any sense to me. How do you say you want to win more souls, you want to put people in? How do you win the souls when they are taking it every day in your country and your pastor does not care? They are buying private jets, building new churches. Anyway, I'm not here for that today. Many matter full ground. Let me go back here. Thank you very much, Michael, for sharing these videos, actually. Can you see? Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing? See am? See am? See them. See Oyibo people. See them. See them. You see their association with the Boko Haram bandits. Eh? Look at it. Look at helicopters came to drop stuff for them. Can you guys see? I wish they would close up some more. Let's see the faces of these Oyibo people so people can ID them. See, you see them? They come to deliver tools to them. Prince, welcome. Oh. Greetings to you.
Yes.
Yes, welcome. Greetings to you. Yeah, go ahead.
I think the best solution to this Nigerian problem is just to separate, Biafra, Oduduwa Republic and Aruwa Republic,
Okay.
Because we're so divided on tribe and religion, we can't get along, So the best solution, so if somebody can't get along with each other, the best solution is to separate,
Right. Okay. All right. Well, that's your take. That's okay. Everybody has their own, angle to it. It's okay. That's fair enough. In light of what's going on, you can't really push against anybody's argument about separation or not. It's what's going to keep people alive. That's the most important thing. But yeah, that's what you wanted to say, right?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. I mean, I still have some more videos to showcase, so I'm just gonna go right ahead and do that. If you want to remain in the studio, that's fine, but I'll just go ahead and play the videos. Okay?
Okay, no problem.
Africa doesn't produce weapons. Who is bringing these weapons into the continent?
Bam.
Africa is a very tribal social society. People know each other. For these people to turn against each other, you need foreign instigators. You need factors from outside the continent. And of course, we know why. Africa is very rich. It has resources, mines, gold, iron, cobalt, everything. And Western corporations, in collaboration with the American and European armies, are working hard to keep Africa down by funding conflicts, by producing a narrative that shows Africans as savages, as simple-minded, as violent, when for decades, African leaders like Gaddafi of Libya, Nasser of Egypt, Lumumba of the Congo, Nyerere of Tanzania, Mandela of South Africa, Nkrumah of Ghana, and many others came up with beautiful projects, very practical ways of actually improving the conditions, but they were never allowed to carry on they were killed, they were murdered, they were bombarded, and they were besieged.
Okay.
To truth, the voice that questioned power, the mirror that reflected injustice, and the bridge between authority and accountability. But today, something has changed. The same media that once investigated, interrogated, and exposed now merely reports, quotes, and assumes. Once, journalists were truth hunters. Now, many have become echo chambers. The news no longer shakes the ground. It only whispers. It was alleged. The Nigerian media once breathed bullets and barricades. During the military regimes, they risked their lives for the truth. But in democracy, the very freedom they fought for, fear has replaced courage, and convenience has replaced conscience. Stories are now published, not pursued. Headlines are now crafted to trend, not to teach. And when truth knocks, the newsroom asks, who sent it? What happened to investigative journalism? The kind that dug deep, that followed the money, that refused to let silence win. Let's talk about the protest. The images we saw, the chants, the tear gas, the barricades. The media was there. They recorded it. They interviewed it. But when it was time to make history, silence. No documentary, no timeline of events, no visual truth. The same journalists who were on ground when protesters were beaten and dragged later wrote, it was alleged protesters were arrested for violating court order by protesting in prohibited zones. But here's the question. The media was there. They filmed it. Was that really a prohibited zone? Or was that the excuse? And yet, we never got their answers. They report arrests, but not the unlawfulness of those arrests. They echo government statements, but not the contradictions in. They ask questions they already know the answers to, but never confront the truth directly. When citizens are brutalized, the media says it was alleged. When power fails the people, they say it was reported. When the government silent voices, they say authorities claim. The watchdog is now on a lease, and the masters of narrative know exactly how. But history remembered those who documented truth, not those who feared it. In this era of smartphones, the people became the new reporters. Videos from the crowd carried more honesty than the newsroom with million naira equipment. Citizen journalists risked everything to capture what official media refused to show. The truth didn't disappear. It simply changed hands. And that's the tragedy and the triumph of our time. So today, this video is not just a story, it's a challenge. To the Nigerian media, the people no longer need you to speak for them. They need you to speak with them. Stop hiding behind the phrase, it was alleged. Show us what you saw. Tell us what you know. Because when the media becomes silent, the people become blind. And a nation that cannot see the truth walks straight into darkness. It's a truth at a time. Take care and have a nice day.
No lies detected. There's nothing she said that is wrong here. It is true. It is true. The media has turned to something else. Anyway, this is something we know already. So let's listen to Governor Amuneke has come up.
Who be that? No, rugged man, sir. Rugged man? Yes, sir. Now, so like, no rugged for rugged man. I go to I go copy. I just dropped new EP there for all music platforms. The best of rugged man, acoustic session, volume 1. People are streaming from all music. Stop. So far, I've been audio man. Best of rugged man. That's all like rugged for you. Absolutely. Sir, what are you doing? I have a new EP that just dropped. It's called The Best of Rugged Man Acoustic Sessions Volume 1. It's out on all music platforms. Right now, that's what I'm promoting. Let's talk. Let your people stay one side first. What happened to you? You used to be a great rapper. It's your government that happened to us now. That happened to me. Yes, sir.
I want to make you an offer. How about you stop these things you are fooling yourself on the streets and campaign for me, my government? You should have faced it, they show small before you finish. And instead of the work up and down with speaker, we can make you the speaker of the House of Assembly.
Yes, now. Even if I will campaign for any government, it will not be your government. It will not be your government that has left everybody impoverished. Excuse you, sir.
No.
Right now, the only thing I'm busy doing is my hustle. I'm promoting my new EP. The Best of Rugged Man, Acoustic Session, Volume 1. I took 5 of my best songs. Track 1 is Ruggedy Baba. Baraja, move your body, make it. Move your body, make it. I remember this one, though. Then there's another one, Change, that I featured one young artist, Percy Kingin. He's talking about the government. And must fall before. Okay. That's what I have. But there's one man I know I will not campaign for.
That's very okay. That's okay.
Yes.
Okay. You come begging for this opportunity.
Governor Amuneke, for me to campaign for you, I'd rather campaign against you. In fact, make sure you do not vote for Governor Amuneke. make sure you do not vote for Governor Amuneke. Do not vote for Governor Amuneke. Make sure you do not vote for. Thank you. Thank you. What are you will see the edit.
Let's see the edit. Breaking news. The legendary rapper Rugged Man has dedicated the rest of his career to campaign for Governor Amuneke. The OG before IG, who is passionate about good governance, made this declaration yesterday during his grand opening of his official campaign for Governor Amuneke. The legend did not just sing, he dedicated the entire EP, Best of Rugged Man acoustic version, to the entire campaign.
Vote for Governor Amuneke. Make sure you vote for Governor Amuneke.
Indeed, Governor Amuneke is the most loved. Vote Governor Amuneke.
Yeah, exactly, Michael. The lady broke it all the way down. It's not something we don't already know. That's the thing. You know, most of these things we already know. But for lack of, there's nothing, Nigerians are still sitting on their hands. I don't know. I don't want to call out Nigerians, to be honest, because their situation, Anyway, let's just keep going on. So here's the thing. So remember these parents that were giving up their voters registration cards and then getting like 2K, 5K, 20K, 10K to vote for their candidates. Can't see tears, tears are flowing. Complaints everywhere. When we were telling them then in 2023 that this road that you are traveling is not going to end well, what did they do? They started laughing at us. Abi, no name when they not call us. No name. They even come weaponize bigotry on top of them. Come start to they do bigotry what? Olympics. Guess what? Now, who know they see food chop? Now 500 naira. Now these ones they cry for since morning. They never let people hear word. Make a play and make una listen to them about ourselves. Naija Chris Nanji, welcome Nanji. Guy Walele, welcome. Greetings. Oh, so people's parents crying for 500 naira. I beg, we don't listen to them before. There's no need. Mona listen to na former
that I was not giving
CDS.
commands. And I do not want to hear that I was not giving any command. As long as you are deployed, your task is to secure your community. You are all aware on what condition you are supposed to shoot at the enemy. When your life is at stake and you have no other means of protecting yourself, you are allowed to fire. When your colleague's life is at stake and there's no way you can stop, you are allowed to fire. And when the community or any infrastructure you are protecting is being destroyed and you have no other means of stopping them, you are allowed to fire. So do not be afraid to take out any criminal or any enemy that is destroying or is doing any acts of killing. Is that clear? But like I've told you, the communities you are protecting must know that you are there to protect them, not to go there and infringe on their human rights. I'm going to hold every commander, from the sector commander to the company commander to the platoon commander to the section commanders responsible. If anything happens within your AOR and you do nothing, you will be court-martialed. That I guarantee you. But again, our policy is to reward hard work and punish indolence. When you do well, we'll commend you, we'll give you awards, and then we'll take care of you the more. You will be promoted. Is that clear? Yes, sir. With the new concepts, all armed forces personnel will be withdrawn from within the towns and will go out into the bushes. All checkpoints.
Of course, he was replaced. Yes, City Boy don't replace her. The man fuck up. Why you go see me they kill criminals? Why? Why you go see me they protest community? Why? Why you go see me they go inside bush? Me they deport all of them inside bush? Why? He fuck up now. He fuck up. Why you go see me they kill the number one citizens of the country? The bandits, the Boko Haram them. You see me they kill them. He fuck up now. Now they fuck up. The guy replace him. No verse. Nigerians. I don't die. Oh, I didn't see anything this up, Abi. Don't worry, we go clear for eyes soon.
Hey, less than 2 weeks after this speech, Tinubu sent the guy packing. Why the guy wasn't saying this at the beginning? I leave that question. I'm telling you.
Expectancy in Nigeria is between 53 and 55 years old. Life expectancy affects everything. It's not only life where the life don't cut short. It's not only human beings that our life is down. Even the things we use, our cars, the moment they enter Nigeria, they lose value. Their life expectancy goes bam, straight down. Look at this car, for example. Let me show you. See this car. For abroad, this kind of car, about $200,000 to $500,000. But in Nigeria, can you sell it for that kind of price? It is impossible, because Nigeria don't happen to the truck. Different mechanic performing their different rituals. You see? So this car life expectancy too, dog. So you can see, say no be only human beings, they lose value for Nigeria. Everything. Go and import a car to Nigeria. The day where that car start with the waka, potholes, bad things, the car would they lose value immediately. So no be only yours, human beings, that are facing this life expectancy in Africa. Look at our parents. They will set up good business. So Dutola Tires, Arishekola, Lista Oil, so many big companies. But when they buy, those businesses they buy, there is no business that have been going on in Nigeria now for 100 years, 120 years. It's not possible. Even Bata, they left Nigeria. I saw them in Kenya. I saw Bata in Uganda. But they left Nigeria. So life expectancy, even on your business, on your daily life, go to hospitals. Before you pray about fake drugs, go to hospital if you don't have money. If you have common malaria, if there is no help, if there is no money, you don't buy. Everything is life. Everything life don't short. Even businesses. My own business, how many I don't do? How many don't stand the test of time? because of the quality of workers, quality.
Now they hear all the complaints when this man gets. As they touch poor, they touch. Oh my God. Okay, so Prince, you think that you said the only thing Soludo is not performing well is insecurity? Really? That's not all I heard though from your people. Your people are very. That's not all I heard though from your people. Prince Chinwoba, you think that the only thing Soludo is not doing well is in the area of security? That's not all I heard about Soludo. Soludo, I heard, is doing terrible for Anambra State. I mean, especially with the recent sham hospital or whether not community, I don't even need to call that place now, that he just came up with and they were videoing and all of that. A lot of people don't have good things to say. Well, I'm sorry. Even on top, then add to that insecurity. But you have a different take, seem like. Go ahead.
Because most of my family live in Anambra State, and they tell me that.
Thank you,
that she's
Oga
doing
Walele.
well.
I appreciate. Sorry, go ahead, Chinwo, please.
Yeah, most of my family lives in Anambra State, and they tell me that he's doing well. It's just that the insecurity is not. It's the only thing that is not doing well, in the state.
That's interesting. Maybe your family can afford, there are levels to this life, living life in Nigeria. There are levels to it. So maybe the level that your parents are, they don't feel the impact that a lot of other people on the ground are feeling. It's not the same thing that I'm hearing, But hey, whoever my own wish is that every state gets great governors, because if you have the right types of leaders, even if the federal they are doing whatever they like, but you're taking care of your people will not be feeling the impact so much, So I don't know, people don't have a lot of people from Anambra say that I know don't have anything. They're very disappointed in him, basically. They're even questioning the fact that this man, you sure say no be cram Patience have become excellent, So as a former CBN governor and stuff like that. But okay, hey, to each their own. That's okay. I mean, hey, So we'll see how it all plays out. Go ahead.
Because I'm not a big fan with the Southeast governors. You know what I'm saying? Because the Southeast governors, I think the Southeast governors are the major problem with in Igbo land. For the Southeast, it's the Southeast governors, because they're not doing enough for the Southeast.
Yeah.
And I really believe that if the Southeast governors team up, Nnamdi Kanu would be released by now.
Yes. That I agree with you on. But the thing is, I think Abia State, I wish everybody would level up like Abia State has leveled up. To be honest, Abia State is doing a good job. I hear, what's his name? Hope Uzodinjo, even though he's not the best, he's also doing in terms of infrastructure. That's what I heard from some people. Enugu State Governor, I hear is doing some things, but insecurity is still an issue, because we do see videos of people coming out to cry about insecurity and stuff like that. Ebonyi State Governor, people have, it's like, 50-50. Some people think he's doing horribly. Some others think he's not doing well at all. He's doing well. Some others think he's not doing enough. But I wish the entire Southeast, to be quite honest, will get all the right governors that will have the interest of the people above everything else. It will work, so that way at least they will feel a sense of belonging. And I say the same for even the South. I say the same, because if we have good governors, good representatives, it will be easy for us to make demands infrastructure wise from the federal, because we can now come together as a block and say no, nothing but the best. We're not getting anything, forget it, you're not getting anything from us. But it's all, it almost feels like an impossible thing to reach, because you have greedy people who only care about themselves and their immediate families that are running things in Nigeria. That's the problem.
Right. I I totally agree with you there. So I think the major problem, I think the number one thing that we should look into is that many Nigerians, they always put all the blame on the federal level, but they don't put some blame on with the state level, the governors,
Yeah, I
and I
mean,
think that
yeah,
to do that,
yeah, that's true. I think we need to apply the same, if not more pressure on the local representatives than even the federal. Because if you have easy your local government chairman or councillor than you do your even your governor or your senators. You even have more you can reach your reps on the state level before you can get to. So yeah, I wish, but Nigerians are playing catch up. We're still trying to. There's a lot of education that's going on. I mean, from where we're coming from, I think Nigerians have gotten better over time. We just need to keep grinding and keep educating and keep putting the word out there. Hopefully, a lot of critical, and they're learning fast because gotta learn fast. We don't have time because lives are at
Right.
stake, So yeah.
Right.
Anyway.
And I'm hearing about the creation of new states, especially in the southeast, the Anoma state.
Anioma, yeah, kudos to, if the South is able to get Anioma, kudos. To be honest, I mean, for fairness, I think it's fair. I'm happy for them if they're able to, get that signed in, so it's all balanced out. Like I said, go ahead.
I think the one thing the one reason why I would support it is because it would give the southeast a little bit more power. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
But
Power. What do you mean power in terms of?
maybe financial power, something like that, or something.
Okay.
Uh, um, but the thing, I don't think it's necessary because our southeast states are not that developed. So if we add another state, so what difference is going to be? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I said. Like, for me, my own thing is it's not so much about the state creation. It's what resource are they going to, are they going to develop the state? That's the important thing. Are they going to have the resources they need to be able to develop and be, honest? Because it's not just about creation of state. I'm not crazy about this whole creation of state thing. Because if you look around Nigeria, please, which state do you think is doing well? Apart from southeastern states individually, they are doing the best they can. You go to certain places or you see certain places in southeast and you're like, wow, right? But aside from
Right.
that, how many states in Nigeria is really getting the resources that they deserve? None. Road infrastructure, if not for people who maybe like Abia State governor is doing stuff for the road. Hope Uzodinjo is also doing something. Hate him, love him, but I hear he's doing, and I've seen some pictures and videos from Imo State, and I'm like, wow, this is good, right? So that's the thing. It's not just about state creation, but about will they get the resources they need to be able to thrive?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Right. It's true. And another thing, I think we need to have much younger leaders. You know what I'm saying? Especially with the governor and the federal level too. I think it's time that Africa, not only Nigeria but Africa, elect younger leaders. Because Africa is always led by older men, and for some reason it's not working out for Africa.
Yeah, I mean, we all agree on that one. We do need fresh leaders with fresh ideas, transformational ideas, not just ideas, but one that would transform the Africa as a whole, right? But if we don't get it right at home, how are we going to get it right on the continent? That's the problem, because a lot of African countries are besieged within and without. Enemies within, enemies without. That's the biggest problem we have. But kudos to the AES. They're showing the example of how to do it. Recently, Mali, I think the US had put like a bond for anyone traveling from Mali to the US have to put a bond of $10,000 right? And Mali retaliated and said, okay, we can go, aura for aura now. Since you say to 10,000, the same thing, no. If you people are coming, make sure you put 10,000 bond down. You don't put it down, you can't enter my country. Simple. You're not gonna get visa. So guess what? They reversed it. They reversed it. So when you don't have the AES is leading the example. They're really taking care of business. Look at what's his name,
Right.
um, uh, Ibrahim Traore is doing. It's amazing what he's doing. So hopefully, I'm just hoping that Nigerians, by the time before we get to 2027, a lot of people will be awake, a lot of young people will be awake, and we will get the critical mass of people to be able to do what we need to do to get it right. Because Nigerians have the most brilliant people on the face of the planet. Why are we all the brilliant people are all over the world? Look at you. Look at everybody on my comment section right now. If we all move back home and take our skills and our reason, Nigeria will be the new land for where everybody wants, the whole of Africa. Because Nigerians will spread
Oh,
their wings all over everywhere in Africa. That's the thing. So I mean, yeah, I definitely agree with you on that one. Yeah.
yeah. And then one thing I'm concerned about is in 2027 is how are we going to make our elections credible without any of this fraud or something like that.
Well, I don't. So there's a new INEC chairman, and some people have glowing reviews of him, but I am very hesitant and skeptical about him because I don't trust the Nigerian system. Because what Tinubu cannot corrupt, I have not seen. Because people have proven in Nigeria to be extremely selfish and self-centered, and they have proven that any price, as long as it has to do with luxury, is enough for them. So I'm still side-eyeing the guy, and people are maybe giving him. Some people are giving glowing reviews because they're trying to reach out to the God within him to do the right thing. I think that's part of why some people are just putting out those glowing reviews. It's just to call out the good in him. Now, time will tell if he lives up to that expectation, right? So people are saying, well, if you're going to prove that you're indeed a good, you're going to be a good INEC chair that's not going to be influenced, why don't you probe what happened before? Let's know what happened with the last election. Let's look at the IREV and the beavers and all of that. Though the guy had given a speech, Nigerians, you can't trust these politicians and their speeches. You cannot trust these people. I personally don't. So the guy came out and said, oh, he's going to deliver. He will make sure that it ends with INEC. So in the election matters will end with INEC without people having to go to court. And I'm summarizing. He actually did put out a statement to that effect. But time will tell. But for me and a lot of other people were saying we can't just pay attention to whether INEC is going to give us valid elections. We also have to have plan B, plan C. We need critical mass of people that will do the needful when it's needed. So yeah, so we're pulling on all sides to see what we can do. So and nobody's left out. Nobody has the monopoly of all the years. So yeah, so that's what I think should happen, and some people would agree with me. And I was listening to Dele Farrow to me. He gave an interview, brought someone on to discuss about peaceful protests because for him, he thinks that no election is going to get us what we want. So he's considering that the only thing out for us is to have, in quotes, peaceful election, whatever that means. But I am suggesting we can also there are ways you can do a revolution without putting your body on the line. For instance, a lot of Nigerians have to start finding their way back home. You have to come together as a group, maybe in 10, and then you must network. You must know people who are in the force here, all over, overseas. People can come together and say, okay, let's go back home, set up businesses, and then try and find ways to protect ourselves and all of that and all the good stuff. If hospitals, hospitals are your concern in case of any serious problem. It's something that Nigerians as a people we can do. It's just that we've not, I don't know, coming together doing it is a problem, but it's something that we can do if we put our mind to it. You just have to drop your egos at outside and just come together as a people and say, let's go back, 10 of us, or yeah, let's go back home, let's go back to our communities, right, and do what we can do. Because I see people that have moved back home and are doing businesses. They haven't lived here over 20 years or so, and they move back home and they're doing, they're relatively doing well, and they're keeping abreast of all that's happening security wise and all of that. So, I mean, that's another way to look at it. That's another form of revolution, because if they're not going to give the diaspora the right to vote, if you really care about Nigeria, you should be thinking about, okay, how do we go back home and let's go and take the bull by the horn. If you know, you live outside of a country, you know how to prep yourself for things like this. You can go and learn how to use tools. I don't want to say the word because YouTube. You can go and learn how to use tools very, very, very accurately. You can go learn some skills, self-defense, whatever, and go in groups and know how to use your tools properly, and have tools that are, maybe registered, maybe unregistered. Find a way to stock up and hide it somewhere. I'm telling you that, and teach your people. When you reach there, they teach them, if not bow and arrow, something, because you can't just, anyway, that's my own, that's just me thinking out loud. And this is because I had that conversation yesterday, so it's still fresh in my mind. Yeah, so yeah, that's my take. So there's so many things that we can do as a people, but we need to come together as a group and really, really know. And really, if we really care about the ancestral home, if we care as we say we do, we should really consider that, and not just go as one. Because we're fond of doing things one. Oh, me, myself, and I. Oh, I just, I. No. How about say 10 of us, 5 of us, 6 of, like 20 of us. It doesn't have to be in this.
Teamwork.
Huh?
Basically teamwork.
Yeah, basically teamwork, right? So you go and you guys have radio. I mean, come on, you have all the tools because you have access. You're global citizens. So you can do teamwork. You're radioing each other. You're finding out what's going on in case maybe you guys are not from the same place. You're keeping abreast. You're finding out what's going on. You're checking. I'm telling you, things go. Election time will come. Enough of you will be on ground to mobilize locally at the grassroots. Can you imagine going on, you are sitting with your people and speaking the language, you don't know how to speak, get an interpreter and be jamming the language together. You will learn by force, okay? And you say, hey, I'm your son, no, I'm your daughter, this is why. You now have your opportunity to educate the people the way you like. See, this is why, you know why, let me come up for this country, make I go, see am, na like this it be, na like this it be. Bring them up to the understanding. I'm telling you to be a game changer, but hey, who am I? I mean, one small corner on YouTube, but yeah, that's what I think, though. That's one of the things.
Mm-hmm. Right. I totally agree. Now about this, the Christian killings that's going on. So a lot of even lawmakers here are even talking about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which is good. I support. I think one of the lawmakers is Ted Cruz. He was talking about I think a bill to designate Nigeria as a country of particular concern. Which I can support. And I think the bill also includes banning the visas of Nigerian politicians or something. I think it's there in the bill too. So I support that, and I like that Americans, the U.S. is starting to be aware of that, and start talking about it, which is very important,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's for me. I'm happy that there's attention that's been brought to it. If anything, to stop the unaliving of people. You understand? I'm glad that they're putting, and from the interview, it doesn't look like they want to put boots on the ground. They just want awareness to be brought to it so that you know, Trump would do something that would, because already Tinubu's government is scampering, looking. That's why he fired all the chiefs, firing everybody, letting them go and stuff like that. We will see what that transfers into, what happens, because they're still unaliving people. I just played a video of helicopters with Oyibo people delivering tools to these people. Delivering. I mean, the camera is on their faces. I hope that people see this video and they're able to take the faces of these people and really figure out who they are. Who are these people that are coming to drop tools for these terrorists? It makes sense, So
Right.
yeah. Anyway,
Right.
yeah.
And another thing, I think it's important for us, especially people Nigerians in the diaspora, to talk to our our lawmakers, to our politicians, what I'm saying, because I'm currently talking to getting in touch with politicians here in my state. So talking about foreign affairs, especially what's going on in Nigeria. So I think it's very important for us to be communicating with our politicians.
Yeah, absolutely. I've reached out to my rep here where I live, and I've left her voice messages, and I've sent email as well. So I'm looking forward to hearing from her. I'm doing my own bit to see what I can do. I'm actually trying to send a message to Governor Newsom himself because he's very responsive. At least I can speak that much about him, and see what he can say to it, because we really need to. And by the way, for those who don't know, there's a protest coming up in Washington on the 10th. I think I posted it on my community page. I'm not sure, but I'm probably going to repost it again so that whoever is available can make. If you can make it to the protest Washington, the protest rally, it'll be good with different messages on your placard. It will be good because this is actually a great time to show forth the situation in Nigeria. However, I'm double-minded about it in the sense that it's these same people that are funding the problems we have in Nigeria. And when people call it out and say it, I understand where they're coming from. But my own take is, for what it's worth, let's just make the whole world know what's going on instead of keeping quiet. So everybody has work to do. So it's not up to one person alone, So yeah, I'm gonna put that flyer out there again, just so in case anybody's interested in going. Let me play this video.
Right.
Yeah.
Our people, 9 local government areas, that's the senatorial district, and we are almost completely Igbos. Of course, there are arguments about some areas, some where some people have come from Igala or come from Benin, but the fact is that according to Delta State gazetted laws, there are only 5 ethnic groups in Delta: the Yorubas, the Igbos, the Ejos, the Shekiris, and the Sokoros. There's no mention of Benin. There's no mention of Yorubas, or also within Delta North. Apart from Delta North, yeah, there are those who say, and you might be touching the wrong now, yeah. In River State, for example, yeah, there are Igbos there. Of course, yeah. The Ikweres. Opobos, or the Opobos. They're everywhere. Igbos are everywhere. Igbos actually. So, for example, are you hoping that they will join the Anoma State, or Anoma State is going to solely from your proposition and the literature that they have put forward is going to be solely from the 9 local government areas of Delta North? Look, initially, my bill was centered around the 9 local government areas of Delta North. And however, a lot has happened since then. But if you look at the explanatory note to my bill, it talks about the Anoma State to become the 6th state of Southeast, the 37th state of the country. Does the Southeast, so the 5 states in the Southeast see you as Igbo? Of course, yes. And I've heard, I don't speak much of Igbo, but I've heard, I can tell you, look, 45 Igbos of the Anomas. No. Every language has dialects. Mm-hmm. Every language, even Yorubas, from Lagos to Oyo to... Even the Enugu Igbo is different from the Abia Igbo, is different from the Onitsha Igbo. Yes. But we are all Igbos. Anoma is historically an Igbo enclave. And there's no doubt about that. From our names to our language, to our culture, our tradition, our food, everything is Igbo. And
We have always identified ourselves as Igbos. Of course, there were two reasons why, for so many, almost like centuries, we were kept at the back burner, kind of confined to Western Nigeria, and why most people from, or some people from my area seem to have gotten to the point where they were not sure whether they were Igbos or not Igbos. But majority of us understand who we are and understand where we've come from. And let me just explain what I mean. There are, during the war, the Civil War, most people, we had the Asaba massacre. After the Asaba massacre and the rest of the killings within our area, we were told as kids that if you see Nigerian soldiers, you must not admit that you are Igbo. You must tell them that you're from Benin or that you are Yoruba. These are kind of things that we had to do to survive the ethnic cleansing that happened at that time. So, of course, there was also this issue of Benin Empire. At the time there was a Benin Empire where, Benin at its heights extended their tentacles to our area. So most of that, some people began to think that they were Benis, but we're not Benis, we're Igbos. There's nothing Benin about us.
So you have people from Agbo, from Kwale.
Yeah, Michael, yeah, you're right about that. That's my own, right? State creation. That's how I feel about it. But because I know that Igbo brothers and sisters have been saying, oh, they only have 5 states, they feel marginalized, if not 6. My own is, it's not, state creation is not the thing. Are there resources available? That's the real major issue, right? But for what's worth, for fair being fair, right? Let them have their 60. I don't have a problem with it. Me, I don't have a problem. My own is, let them make resources available. If we had seaports now and people were doing business and you're going to be generating income, you'll say, additional 6 states or more, we'll be, imagine the money we'll be making. That's the problem I have, where you only have one seaport, which is Lagos, that this man has put chains around. Open everywhere, let everybody be competing. No, you want to become King Kong by force. That's the problem. Why create more states when a majority of resources produced in these states can't be exported because we only have one stinking city with a freaking Michael. The foreign oil gas companies are allowed to lift our oil from any small seaport all over the Delta, but Nigerians can't export from products until they go. I mean, it's crazy, right? Yeah. Governor Oti is the most performing governor. Abia State is coming behind from the dirtiest, indebted, looted state to a busting and give me visa, I go Abia State. Walai. No strategic development.
Abia State is developing.
Yeah, and it's developing fast, and I love what Oti is doing. I really do. And I'm saying the people of Abia must stand up for this man, this election when they want to do. May they not allow the man to come to APC. I don't know how they want to do it. Exactly.
I don't know why the governor of Enugu State moved to the APC. I don't know why he did that.
Because he has skeleton in his cupboard. It's people who have skeleton in their cupboard that run to APC. And they have skeleton, and I think they also pressure them too. As I heard, they put a lot of pressure on them. They probably won't get any allocations that they normally give them. They're gonna, so a lot of people consider that, but most especially they have skeleton in their cupboards. Now until they hold them. Once he tells them, you just say, EFCC, pull out the file. You understand? And then EFCC start going out disturbing and all of that. That's why a lot of them decamp.
Wow.
As long as most diaspora Nigerians are overly focused on subjugating other Nigerians and doing fune, that's the problem. When Nigerians go back home, some of them, I wanna Ghana. I'm like, are you serious? Must they know where you're coming from? I wanna that's the problem. Then they start to segregate themselves. You weren't supposed to wear your tie hair like who they sell pepper for market, they chew gum like who not get home training. I don't understand. When people go to Nigeria, you go blend in. When you dey where you dey go, you will follow the enter bus, follow them trek, follow them go market, go the price market. 2 for 500 naira, madam, put jara na. All those guys, I don't understand. So that's the problem. Ego. They go want to become, they want to do like Lord and Master. When you go that kind of place, don't be in a hurry to rule. You also sit down, observe, let them choose their leaders. You be listening to the leader. You support, serve the leader. Say, ma, okay, let them teach you some traditional things. No, our people know the hear words. They want to gara, and I better pass my neighbor mentality. That's the problem. Eh? Yeah, Southern
Yeah.
leaders are. Go ahead, sorry. Go ahead, Prince.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I was listening to what you're saying.
Okay. The Southern elite politicians are true slackers because they know the potential of their people but help stifle growth and development in that region. Ego is the immediate reflex of ignorant and narrow-minded ones. Bam, guy, you know the English, I know the pidgin. Hey, hello. Unfortunately, we have those ignorant and borrow-minded zealots in abundance. News media, welcome. In fact, I believe there are special factories in Nigeria producing 247 this kind of zealots and more. How Nigerians or Africans in general look at each other and still think they are different, it astounds me. Yeah. Pido, I'm telling you, Ned Nwoko, now here saying wife don't build the own house for Lagos. I don't know why the man wait till you get to. I don't know. Anyway, now for me, na Regina Daniel parents, na im mama I blame, not in papa, because papa say he was against it. So now the mama I blame. You pimp your daughter out to this kind of old man. God forbid. No amount of money reach. Using MNK, Edo strong ties, Igbo here and there. APC led Nwoko is playing the seduction card. Now so now. To make it worse, how foreigners can convince any of them to start targeting and buying each other is the biggest mindfuck ever. Yep, we have actively spied each other for 500 years and counting. We seriously refuse to learn from history. Nigeria's 0, Cameroon's 0, Ghanaians 0. But Ghanaians are doing something now. Do you know that Ghanaians have taken out English from their from somewhere? I can't remember. I think whether it's from the main like the lingua franca or something. They've now made it languages. I don't know. But Ghanaians, they try compared to Nigeria. Nigerians are the real coons. Your leaders, they are the real coons. They are the real, when you say field plus house N word, not them. All join inside one package. Now they get with Nigerian leaders. And they will come look for the worst, the vermin among Nigerian people to make leaders so that they will feel control them. That's the problem. Governor Mba knows how he came to power here. He was imposed. Exactly. You know, he didn't win that election. It was the LP that won, the LP candidate that won. So Governor Mba know. You know, so now was it not forged certificates? Is it school certificate or NYSC? Which one was Mba's own? So he did not win. He rigged. They rigged him in. Extra push from APC and the insecurity is not in his favor. Yeah, he agreed for headsmen to settle in the states that were buying his. I don't know how you will watch your people be pied. Hey, God, I beg you. Honestly, that one alone, they beats me every day. And I think I'm going to say how. Okay, this is what I was saying about Ghana. Every African, so Ghana Ghana officially removes English as the main language of instruction in schools. So that's it. That's the one I was trying to remember. Now, this guy has glowing reviews for Joash Amopitan, the professor. Says, as a student at the University of Jos in the 80s and 90s, he can attest to his intellectual caliber and character. That's what he's saying. All right. Now, in South Africa, they are chasing you Nigerians away. Woo! They say you people should stop selling goods on the roadside in South Africa. Go home and fix your country. Make una listen. Me no be like say na me dey talk am.
Go sell these things in your country of origin. You call yourself a businessman. You came from Abuja, then you come here, then you call yourself a businessman by selling dirty second-hand clothes here. I told you, this is a pavement, and it's written there. No hawkers, no trading there. When you think that you are smart, you think that you are smart away. Call your block leaders and I'll deal with them too. No one is bigger than the constitution of this country. No one is bigger than the constitution of this country. I told you when you gave me an attitude again. When I am smart, you are clever. I'm clever than you. I want to show you. You can never be clever in a foreign land where you ran away instead of fixing your own country. You think that you are smarter in a foreign country. Go fix your country. You thought that you were smarter. You thought that you were smarter than us.
He's the landlord.
Yeah, you're the landlord. You and I are the landlord. We'll show you what we fought the kids for the people of South Africa. The kids of us, not you. We fought the kids of the streets, Mona, as South Africans, not you. I told you when your attitude, my problem was your attitude, and I told you that I deal with this. You're supposed to finish long ago. You think these people, you almost got. Let me take you. Hey, you can get one chance. My friend, take it. No, you're wasting our time, Baba. We don't have the whole day. We don't have the whole day to be here with you. This guy's wasting our time here. Call your block leaders, call whoever that you want to call. No one is above the constitution of South Africa.
All your connection by the department, you've been calling more. You've been calling with your fake papers.
It's not a place to say. There's no trading there and there. It's written, the boats are there. Everybody thought that he was smarter than us here. You fail to fight Tinubu, then you come here and you think that you can us. Go fight Tinubu there, not us here. Go fight with Tinubu there. We told you that we're coming when for you. This is our country.
Una here, go fight with Tinubu. Woo! Nigerians, go and fight with Tinubu. Woo! You people should be ashamed. Yes, you people should go home and go and fight. Not be every time run. Pack your load. Go and get farm. Go and get that forest. All that forest where people they live it. So say people full am. If they say we dey house, they no go get bush to enter. Oh. Una don hear am now because if na me dey talk, I go dey pepper una for body. Una don take the first class insult now. I'm very happy that they are pushing you people up and down. Good for you. See, Nigeria geographical region is the main production factory of coons in the world. I'm telling you, the biggest production epicenter, coons. I'm telling you. House and field na Nigerians get. They pay me say I dey talk am, but the truth has to be told because maybe from here we go come learn the hard way. We will come look within. We'll say, no, this insult is too much. Let's change. Perhaps because some Nigerians they na die dear mindsets of coonery. Na dem sabi. They will lie to themselves. They will point the finger outside instead of pointing it directly at themselves. I beg. They love to associate with their operator. May they drive, even if they love to let them drive us. I need them to put special attention on us as a people so that we will go home and go and fix that country. I'm telling you. What was Amupita in 200 BC in Egypt doesn't count. He isn't smelling. Guy, I'm telling you, I said it earlier. I'm side-eyeing the guy. I don't care what anybody says. I ask my friend in South Africa every time how the South Africans were boning and producing tons of colored children with Oyibo, despite the Oyibo people oppressing them. I know figure am. Do you know that's why they say, if to say boning they cure if to say they cure racism, if we not get racism again. I say you go see man when go marry woman. When he marry woman finish, when be blackie, you know say na blackie, he go still call am all kinds of names, all kinds of colorful names. There's somebody that one of my uncle's friends, right? This woman marry Oyibo. Hey, now how own I take no first hand. God damn. If you when they go quarrel like this, come and hear insult. Because one time I go spend, they invite me to come spend weekend for their house. I can't go spend weekend. Hey, wele, omo. E be like make ground open, make swallow, make the ground swallow me. I say, wetin be this? I was embarrassed. If you see the kind insult when they come up for that man mouth, hey, abeg o, I just so free from backyard, waka go outside there. I come come, I say abeg, come and that time I no get car, no get. I say come and carry me, abeg, abeg. It's going down here. It's going down. My uncle say, na me go alert my uncle. I say, come save your friend. I don't know what to know how now they do am. I just arrived that time. My uncle now came. They come the judge give am. If you see the words when this man they use for him wife, hey, he say make he go back to where he come from. Where be say na so kpai beat na they beat. Say not be from one man hand where they beat and not being save am. Then na all he know be that he was born into it. And they go, yeah. Oh my God, the insult was more painful. You know, say if na black person they insult you like that, you know too pain you say abeg, you go dey look am, you go dey look am for your mind. You dey say mirror, you are looking at mirror, you are talking to yourself now, because me and you the same color, so anything when you talk is going back. But this one, omo, e pain me. I no go lie, my ear things that day. That was when I knew firsthand, like wow. E no reach o. If I say that they bone each other, no mean say e no remove. In fact, na dem dey more inherently. Some of them, I mean, there are people who say they genuinely meet good ones, and I don't know how they take them, but hey, there are people who say they do, and you know their life seems to be flowers. I don't know. I can't speak to that, but I can speak to the ones I have seen and I've heard and I've observed. Anyway, moving along. Wetin you dey talk? Make I see. Ordinary South Africans are ignorant. Nigerians as well. Of course, Nigerians are ignorant too. Nigerians are the ones, especially back home. And you know, I would say in Nigeria, they don't teach you anything. Do you understand? So you don't even know what the larger world is about. You don't know jack about politics, history, especially. Heck, there are things I'm finding out now that those things could have been taught in schools in Nigeria, but they hide all these things. They used to teach history before. I watched Roots as a child growing up. I watched Roots. They pulled it. Why did they pull it? Their masters don't tell them, say, no, not teach these people so that they no go get sense. So, yeah, South Africa Bobo say, you will say you are a businessman to your Nigerian people, but you are here selling on the streets. Go away. You don't clock them. Oh my God. You saw the true nature of this fake. I'm telling you, firsthand, I was like, wow, is this what you guys deal with? God damn. The guy used all kinds of words on her. N-word though. The ones when I don't know before. The first time when I hear kun now from that man mouth, the Igbo man. Now there I take here, I say, wait it be kun. Omo, it was terrible. I said, nah. Even my own black person, if you talk to me like that, like I won't take it from the not to talk of. Ay, goddamn. I'm telling you, I hear things, my ear almost fall. Some women like their suffering, I'm telling you, and they will stay put in it. But for this one, I have to give it to her. She took her bags, her things, and left that there. She never went back. I have to give it to her. She did. African American lady. She packed her bag, bam. She no look back. The man was coming back. The man was kind of coming back, begging, trying to, get to her. The man was calling my uncle. My uncle said, my hand not did this one. Oh, the one where you do that day. I no gas, I want to talk to this woman when you go hear me. I beg. Mona go sort to na matter. Mona leave me out of it. Yeah. The guy was trying to, there's no coming back from that. You claim you love someone or you respect them and you talk to them like that. Even among us fellow brothers and sisters from the continent, I no go take am. Disrespect, lie can't happen. I too love myself. Are you okay? Are you high? Hey, God, I beg you. No talk of outsider. No, now that means I don't rubbish myself for ground. For person to open mouth to fit take disrespect you like that, that means you don't. If you you stay, that means you don't like yourself. You have great disrespect for yourself. You don't rate yourself. You they look for something when they missing. That's what it means. But if you love yourself enough and you get high regard for yourself, you will not take bullshit from nobody. I don't care who the person be. Even if the person they feed you, you no go take calm. You go say, I'd rather go outside and go and eat gari. I'm telling you. But anyway, not be that one we dey talk about today. Nigeria matter plenty past that one. People when they do that one, they do that one. He even called her. Yes, so exactly. So maybe, yeah, so that's what I suspect, that maybe she was talking about her people, in front of him, and he picked up on it. She left. She didn't call, she didn't look back. That which was a good thing. She left and she didn't look back. I have more videos that I want to play for you guys, though. I'm not sure say this morning session go reach, so I most likely will have to come back, guys. But let me just take the quick ones for now.
We have moved from a disaster that Buhari was to a cataclysmic situation. Now, what is this government identified for and with? I have just named what other governments were identified for and with. Since the president was sworn in Eagle Square, the recurring refrain from every single Nigerian, whether you are in the business, whether you are in the corporate sector, whether you are in the civil service, whether you are doing small businesses, or you are an enterprise or industry, the recurring refrain from every Nigerian that you would ask is that this is a government of pain, of hunger, and of anguish. That the only thing they get from this government as feedback of governance is that tariffs are being increased, is that electricity tariff is increased, telecommunication tariff is increased, fuel subsidy that at least we held on to, whether it was right or wrong, whether it was flawed or straight, Nigerians held on to that and didn't give the sharks the opportunity to hike prices in the market. He removed it unilaterally at Eagle Square in a bravado manner, whereas he hasn't thought of any way to cushion what will be the effect, which shows if in fact he didn't know that it was going to create an effect, it shows his lack of competence. If he knew, it shows his wickedness. So both sides of the sword is a two-edged sword. Now he removed it at Eagle Square. Since then up until now, Nigerian citizens cannot tell you these are the measures that this president has put in place that is ensuring that their Nigerians are having their sufferings ameliorated. There is no ameliorating. When Buhari was there, who I describe as a disaster, he set up the Anchor Borrowers Program, which at least the North can say they benefited so much from. He produced a lot of young farmers in the North who are growing local rice. We don't have any such example. Rather, what we have is that in January, we are going to have to pay more taxes. And what is even more annoying is that the man who is put in charge of that committee for fiscal reform, Taiwo Yedele, tells us now that beyond the taxes, the tax collectors, that is the government in place, does not care what you do to make money. In fact, he said that in a Redeemed Church in Lagos. And he said, and I quote, he said, if you are a Ron's girl, like you go out to sleep with a man and he gives you money, and you just pay your tax on him, we don't care what you do. And then he said further that any person who is into whatever business, that the law the tax law does not anticipate and does not take into cognizance what it does.
When I hear wetin this man talk, hey. Anyway, moving along. See, this is viewer discretion right here, where a horrific moment where a vehicle with 4 occupants on speed exceeding 200 kilometers per hour completely lost control and flew into the Millennium Park in Abuja, Maitama, and immediately caught on fire. Moving along. Una see the destruction wey dey happen for Nigeria. The way they wake up middle of night, go dey destroy houses for Shoki. I hope you guys are aware of that. Okay. Now, APC has been crying on the tweet on social media. They've been crying all over the place like bush babies. Because why? They still say their president pikin. He sit down with people wey sabi, business people wey sabi. They do meeting. Cries, tears all over the place. Whether there was more that happened that I don't know, but they've been campaign. See this particular lady that I pull up her tweet now, picture of her tweet. Now they are calling that, they're now saying that APC needs to lose Lagos. They are darling Lagos. That they destroy houses of people, their own supporters too. They no send. They only need them when they want to do bigotry Olympics and insults. You see, say some of them know they come my comment section again. Come they talk crap. Why? Because they don't realize that there be nuisance word. Not only nuisance that they of 2K, 20K, 50K are the most per tweet, per comment. From real matters, real earth moving, life-changing matters, they involve them. So let me read what this guy's tweet says here. He said, this is from Biggest Mark. The mistake you will make is raise your hopes and assume there is commotion in APC. This is the angle he's coming from. He says, because these cretins are making empty threats to APC. Who dash monkey banana? Oh my God, they're so delusional, and I have no idea APC or Tinubu does not even need them to win. They're already serving their purpose, even as they are currently throwing tantrums at APC. Their job is just that ethnic tension they are stoking, which is a major source of distraction and disunity for the common people to muster any collective political will to effect change. That's their job, and they're doing it just fine. They'll be fools to actually expect rewards from a job they will continue to do for free without even realizing it. I cried, I laughed, I cried yesterday when I read this tweet. I say, what? APC has been crying since. Crying. So some people that have been praising the CDS that was retired, right? They said, somebody now pushed back here and said dismissal. He completed 35 years in service a year ago and also served as CDS for 2 years and some months against the 2-year standard. So his time was already up, apparently. Okay, now so that they do him. Let's listen to this propaganda.
Why should Africans be forced to adopt a dead language? Why should Africans be given the burden of trying to keep a dead language alive? There are twice as many French speakers on the African continent than there are on the continent of Europe speaking French natively. Without the 140 plus million Africans who speak French, the language, is as useful as Latin. And half of those people actually live in one capital, in Kinshasa, the capital city of the DRC. So why should Africans be forced to adopt a dead language? We've all seen the viral video of the Ugandan presidential aspirant calling for the abolition of Swahili as Uganda's national language and the institution of French instead.
We shall ban Swahili as our national language. We shall ban it. We need French instead. French has a wider coverage. Burundi, they speak French. Congo, they speak French. Rwanda, they speak French. Congo Brazzaville, they speak French. Gabon, they speak French. We don't need Swahili.
This is what Emmanuel Macron is doing in East Africa as we speak. He was in Kenya, buddying it up with William Ruto. I think this presidential aspirant from Uganda, he is an agent of Emmanuel Macron. I have never heard a worse idea. Swahili used to be the language of the army in East and Central Africa for a long, long time. Ugandans, you don't speak Swahili enough. Actually, you need to improve. Don't listen to that man. Swahili is our unifying language. Swahili is already an official language of the African Union. It is a fully formed language. It is functional in business, in commerce, in our social life, in culture. I am not the person who will say that every African should speak Swahili, but when you pit Swahili against a colonial language, you are completely losing. Swahili is a language that we can speak and have secrets among us as Africans. Swahili is a futuristic language, so are many African languages, because Africa is the future. African youth are the future, and these people know it. That is why they're putting these things in the ear of African presidential aspirants and African leaders. Right now, a French billionaire has bought MultiChoice. MultiChoice is the largest entertainment company in Africa, offering paid TV services. MultiChoice, based in South Africa. That French billionaire who's going to own it now, there's going to be social engineering to promote the French language and French culture. This is a language that gives Africans no access to the world. It is limiting. It is totally limiting. Swahili needs to be promoted over these other languages.
Hey, can you hear the mess that's going on in can you imagine what these African leaders are doing? Can you imagine you're trying to take away your own language and replace it in big 2025? This is wild. This is wild. Exactly. Must send screenshot of their degenerate chats before they get that 2K. An African speaking French speak a better French, grammatically perfect. Forget it. Exactly. How can you in 2025 when people are dumping this language? You are not commissioned of you to elevate your own. Let them come and learn the Swahili. Come and learn your local language. No. Ha! God, I beg. Exactly. Why are Africans even paying for DSTV and MultiChoice? With social media now, you don't need all this DSTV and MultiChoice. Just watch YouTube. There are movies on YouTube you can watch for free. History channels for free. So many knowledge you can grasp from social media. What do you need a DSTV for? All those they are sick, degenerate programs when they put for there. BBN, Nigeria, and the rest of them. When we say there's no literary value to it, no scientific value to it. They make people brains dull the more. Anyway, let's move on. I just make a bring her. Meanwhile, Cameroon, no, they're just streets. They say they don't want ancient gargoyle. Look, now listen. But I hear that the person that they're pushing for, the Chiroma guy, is the same France is working for. So I don't know. Is there any update? Does anybody have any updated information about this Cameroon protest that's been going on? Because this a couple of hours ago. I don't know.
I heard that the Paul Biya is the president now. I am the president.
Are you serious? Paul Biya still got in. Hey, oh, Salobo. Hey!
Yes.
That man go buy for that. He go buy for that position.
Yes.
Sad.
Yeah, it says here.
Please, I
Paul
want to
Biya,
quick-
Cameroon's 92-year-old president, wins controversial 8th term.
Wow. Hey, no go better for France. God damn. Hell, so the people they've broken the people to the point where no one feel even nobody, not a group of not 2-3 people feel gather, find something when they make I keep quiet. Now Nigerian own now we they talk. We never know how this one will turn out. Make I just maintain.
Please say this before we close the service. Anytime I see the truth and I refuse to say it, then I have failed God. And I have become a disgrace to myself. We live in a country divided in so many ways: political, tribal, religious, regional, and ethnic differences everywhere. Before you say I am being tribalistic, for the sake of our online viewers, let me be clear. I am from Benue State, TV by tribe, but I grew up in Ghana. Most of you on ground already know this. But let us ask ourselves one simple question and answer it sincerely within our hearts. What is this young man called Nnamdi Kanu still doing in DSS custody for more than 3 years now? It is very obvious that they have found nothing incriminating against him, yet he remains there. Some of you are happy about it simply because he is an Igbo man. I do not understand this prejudice against the Igbo people in our country. I'm sorry to say this, it may anger some of you, but from my findings, the Igbo man is one of the greatest agents of development in this nation.
Bam.
If you doubt it, take away their investments from every state in Nigeria and then tell me what is left. In every part of Nigeria, you will find their presence, their businesses, their hard work, their contribution to growth. Yet these same people said they want to leave because of the injustice constantly done to them. How can a government negotiate with terrorists, one of the most dangerous in the world, but hold a man who never carried a gun, only spoke against injustice? And yet, many who go to church every Sunday support this oppression simply because he is from the Igbo tribe. Most of you who hate the Igbos have never been treated badly by an Igbo person. You hate them because of what you were told, not what you experienced. Igbo leaders are busy playing politics. Igbo politicians, you are a disgrace to your land. Greed and selfishness have made you silent while your brother suffers in detention. Do you even care about posterity? What will your land remember you for? I have told you this many times in this church. Whenever you support evil done to others, spiritually, you position yourself and your family to partake in that same evil. Injustice in a lawless country flies like a stray bullet. You never know who it will land on. Please share this video wherever you are watching from. I am Apostle Barnabas, and this is Truth Assembly International.
Do you know, for the longest time, I thought this was an AI pastor. I didn't know it was real. So he does it in form of AI, but he hasn't actually been pushing out. The guy has very, very truthful messages about the state of Nigeria that he keeps pushing. For a long time, I thought it was an AI coinage. Oh, Mona, forgive me. Oh, I don't know, but I was enjoying it though, regardless. Another one, Katara was alone in the ballot 2 days ago in Cote d'Ivoire. Hey, Salobua, Africa. DSS went there. DSS agents were trying to unalive him in jail since he's listed his witnesses. Some of them are scared by his strategy. Wow. Hey! You know that if Nigeria could get it right, most of these other African countries, the leaders go come dey panic because Nigeria has fallen. For some reason, I don't know why Nigeria is like the center of making it happen for the whole of Africa. I wish it wasn't, but unfortunately it looks like Nigeria is there strategically for this purpose, and they are not living up to expectation. This is why we as a people need to make sure it happens by 2027. Otherwise, if what's going on in Nigeria goes beneath 20, just forget it. Do you understand? So anyway, that's my take. But guys, I think I'm going to wrap it up really quickly. And maybe come back later because I know there's so much. All right, so there was an explosion in Igomu, really Igomu, Bale Street. Okay, houses were got on fire. All right, so this is what's going on in Lagos at this time. Well, this was yesterday, and then bandits abduct 9 passengers traveling from Kogi to Kwara, including Christian clerics. This one happened yesterday. Okay, listen to this truth.
Just sit down watching them to do whatever they feel like doing simply because they are professionals. You cannot talk to them. Give them target. During Jonathan, we brought mercenaries. They were about to finish Boko Haram. But because of our complacency and personal aggrandizement and personal interest, we asked them to go back. And we are still battling with the issue. I was in Borno State as a member of a state house of assembly when the mercenaries were in Borno. They were less than 30. They operate in a place like this. Everybody with a laptop before him, observing what is happening in the bush. The moment they discovered an enclave, they will be able to identify how many weapons do they have, what kind of weapons are they using, how many AK-47 do they have, how many explosives do they have. They will take only 3 or 4 people in a chopper, go and clear everything. They will snap pictures before clearing them and bring back exhibit. We are about to finish it. And because of interest, personal interest, that if we allow mercenaries to finish this, anything. How much was the bill given by the mercenaries? Even Russia is employing mercenaries to fight for them, isn't it? Are we stronger than Russia? Is there anything wrong if you can bring somebody that can fight for you?
Now here the truth comes out. Jonathan was ready to take out these people with mercenaries. And I remember seeing the interview of those mercenaries sharing their, they were succeeding and they were going to succeed in wiping everything out. Guess what? The whole thing with Obama and the rest of them, they just, like he said, they drove them back. Now they're stuck with bandits, and the bandits now, terrorists have spread all over Nigeria. You see, Odumadu body, according to my mama, Odumadu body, you want to do somebody else, you do yourself. That's what's playing out. So Jonathan was doing the right thing. They prevent that man. Make I play another one again. This one, they laugh for the video as they make I pass through the video, go conquer for head. See, you people are playing with the future of your children, of your generation, and you are laughing. It's funny to you. It is funny. Una know say Jonathan, they do better work, but because of envy and jealousy, it must be me. It must be us. All the time when Emilokon they fight for one thing or the other, right? We don't know say na jealousy. They jealous. We did not know. Everything is playing out now. Look at it. Listen to this.
We know the truth, sir.
Mm-hmm.
But it is all politics. Even when what President Jonathan is doing, which 10 or so years after, all the political parties in this country agreed with. They even put it in their manifesto. Subsidy must be removed. Subsidy must be removed. Subsidy must be removed. We in ACN at the time we in ACN at the time in 2012, we know the truth, sir. But it is all politics.
This is one of the most unpatriotic statements I have ever heard in my life. If you understand what this man said here, then you will understand how disturbing it is to have people with this type of mindset run our government. What he said outrightly here is that they at ACN, now APC, knew that Jonathan's government was doing well. They knew that the policy he was trying to implement was very good for Nigeria and Nigerians, but because they didn't want him to succeed, they lied to Nigerians about the policy. We knew that Jonathan was right, but because we wanted to take power, we found a way to condemn what he was doing and even deceived Nigerians to come out and protest against it. Simply put, what this man is saying here is that they knew Nigeria was heading to a good direction, but they disrupted it for their own selfish reasons. This is so serious and so disturbing. He is actually saying that all the protests they organized against Jonathan were fake and never about the interest of Nigeria or Nigerians, but just for them to grab power. Now I understand why Peter Obi would always say that he won't be in any coalition just for the sake of grabbing power. This statement from this man shows you that the people in power right now don't give a damn about Nigerians. Now you understand why they implement these harsh policies since 2015. Now you understand why they live in plenty while Nigerians are becoming poorer by the day. Now you understand why APC has thrown over 100 million Nigerians into poverty. It's simple. They don't care. Everything is politics for them. They play politics with people's lives. Very dangerous and very pathetic. God forbid. Dear Nigerians, this man has told us plainly that APC is not in power for you, but for themselves. We must do something about it in 2027.
Can you hear? See as the man they laugh, see it teeth. Oh, Nigerians, I blame. And I blame ourselves. I blame me. I blame everybody. We need to know what we are doing in Nigeria. Me, I don't talk my own. I will continue to talk. Anyway, my people, this is where I draw the curtain. It's been real this morning. I came out early. It was intentional because I wanted to get out as much, information that I had to share with you guys. So perhaps you guys will see me later on. Perhaps not. I'm still in the rest mode, but I'll see what I can do. If you don't see me again. Actually, the Voice of the People Evening Rush. I don't know if it's with Barrister Darlington. If it is, I'm going to come back and I'm going to stream it. I probably won't do much of a talking, but maybe every now and again I'll interject. But just to give you guys a heads up, okay? Thank you very much, my brother Michael. Thank you very much, Prince Chimuba, for coming in and being in the panel with me. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I hope you come back again. Only politics, money, and power. That's all they know. You nailed it. That's all they know. So, guys, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day. You probably will see me for Voice of the People later on. But if not, I'll see you guys on my next one. Bye.